So this video is sponsored by Electronic Arts. So what is going on, guys? My name is Zero and welcome to my first official video on the new Plants vs Zombies game, Battle for Neighborville. In Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville, we got the introduction of 6 brand new classes. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at those character classes, breaking them down and telling you everything you need to know about them. We're also going to be taking a look at a few favorites from the previous Plants vs Zombies shooters, so I hope that you do enjoy today's video. So the first character we're going to be taking a look at is one of my personal favorites. This is Nightcap, who is a ninja mushroom and can use her abilities to be very stealthy and get in and out of combat very quickly. She has 75 health and also has the ability to double jump. Her primary weapon is called Spore Strike and deals a lot of damage at close range. Nightcap's first ability is called Casting Shadows, where she will throw a shadow dome onto the ground. Any teammates inside of this shadow dome will become invisible, making them much more difficult to attack, and any enemies inside of this shadow dome will restrict their movement, making them much easier to attack. Her second ability is called Fung Fu, where she will repeatedly strike nearby enemies in a specific area for massive amounts of damage. And her third ability is called Shadow Sneak, where she will disappear and move very swiftly. Even though she has disappeared, she can still be attacked, so make sure you are aware of that. And I also think it's a great combination to use Shadow Sneak to get in and behind a bunch of zombies, and then quickly use Fung Fu to take them all out. The second character which we're going to be taking a look at is the Snapdragon, which is the fire character in Battle for Neighborville. Now, there are 2 ways that the Snapdragon can attack his opponents. The first one is by holding down the fire button, which will breathe fire in a very close proximity, dealing lots of damage. The second method is by holding down the zoom button and then pressing the fire button, which will spit out a ranged fireball. Both of these attacks will fill up a meter, which if you overheat them, it will take a few seconds to cool down. The Snapdragon also has 175 health and has a special ability where he can hover in the air by holding down the jump button. His first ability is called Swoop Slam, where the Snapdragon will fly up into the air and crash down, dealing damage on impact. His second ability is called Blue Blazes, where he will launch a blue fireball that follows enemies and deals massive damage on impact. And his third ability is called Blazing Trail, where he will create a blazing wall of fire along a straight path. Blazing Trail is a great ability to use in objective-based game modes, as you can block certain paths that the enemies may want to take, and Swoop Slam is also a great ability to not only damage enemies, but also use it to get away from enemies. The third new plant class that we're going to be taking a look at is called Acorn. This cute little plant has 75 health and also has a lot of abilities. The first ability the Acorn has is called Sap Tap, where you can launch out a sticky knockback explosive. You press the ability button once to launch out the sticky sap, and then press the ability again to detonate. His second ability is called the Acorn Dash, where he can quickly spin in the direction that you're moving. It's a great ability to get in and out of combat very quickly. And his third ability is called Invoke Oak, where he will transform into a giant oak. And what's great about the Acorn is it has a special ability to interact and merge with other acorns that have transformed into an oak. You can have up to 3 acorns joining with an oak, making them very, very powerful. Now, if you do decide to merge with an oak, you can still attack with your primary weapon, but you will have one unique ability, which is called Lumber Support, where you can heal the oak and yourself very rapidly. Now, if you do decide to play as the oak yourself, you will have 2 new abilities. The first one is called Super Sap Trap, which will launch a massive sticky knockback explosive. You press the ability button to launch it and the same ability button to detonate it. And the second ability is called Roll for Damage, which will roll a giant damaging log towards your opponents. You will also have the ability to eject from the oak at any given time, transforming you back into an acorn. Moving over to some fan favorites from the previous games, we have the Peashooter, which has 125 health, fires explosive peas, and has the special ability where his explosive peas will deal splash damage. His first ability is the Chili Bean Bomb, which will spit out an explosive bean that detonates after a delay. His second ability is called P Gatlin, where he will switch to a high-powered turret in a rooted position, and his third ability is called P Supered, where he will jump higher, fire faster and move faster as well. Peashooter also has the additional ability where if you're in the air, you will be able to hold the zoom button to hover. And the final plants class that we're going to be taking a look at in today's video is the Sunflower, which is one of the main support characters in the game. She has 100 health and has the special ability to revive her teammates quickly. Her first ability is called Sunny Side Up, which showers healing sun drops out to heal herself and her teammates. Her second ability is called Sunbeam, which switches her to a high-powered beam turret in a rooted position. And her third ability is called Heal Beam, which heals a teammate, but can also extend their max health. Moving over to the zombie side, our first character we're going to be taking a look at is the 80s action hero. His primary weapon is a ball blaster, which you can charge up to deal more damage. He has 150 health and his special ability allows his landed shots with his ball blaster to create lock-on targets for his can't missile ability that will fire extra rockets. His first ability is called Dynamite Dodge, where he can evade in any direction, while a dropped explosive covers his tracks. His second ability is called Rocket Ride, where he will fly into the air and launch a large volley of explosive missiles, but he can't attack directly underneath him. And his third ability is called Can't Missile, which will deploy homing rockets, which will lock onto targets provided by the ball blaster. If no lock-on targets are provided, it will lock on to the nearest target. Our second new character class we're going to be taking a look at is called Electric Slide, which is the electric character in Battle for Neighborville. She has 125 health and her special ability allows her primary weapon to arc damage to nearby enemies. It also has the chance to stun them as well. Her first ability is called Funky Bouncer, which will push enemies away with a bouncy magnet. It's very cool if you can manage to knock enemies off the map, giving them instant death. Her second ability is called Out of Fight, which transforms her into pure energy. It gives her invulnerability, but disables weapons. And her third ability is called Disco Tornado, where she will summon a small electric whirlwind, and if you press the same ability button again, it's going to expand it into a giant damaging tornado. The next character class we're going to be taking a look at is Space Cadet, which is very similar to the Acorn in that it has a special ability where you can transform into something else. So the Space Cadet has 125 health and her special ability allows her to double jump but also hover while holding the jump button. Her first ability is called Gravity Smash, where she will fly up into the sky and then crash down, causing damage on impact. Her second ability is called Big Bang Beam, where she will fire a damaging precision laser after a short charge up. And her third ability is called Station Inflation, where she will transform into a space station joinable by up to 3 other space cadets. Once you do transform into a space station, 3 other space cadets can team up with you, similar to how the Acorns teamed up with the Oak. Now, if you decide to be a space cadet and team up with a space station yourself, you're going to gain 2 new abilities. The first one is called Asteroid Shield, where you can control an energy shield for protection, and your second ability is called Hands-on Torpedo, where you can remote control a rocket. You can also use your primary weapon while you are linked up with the Space Cadet, so keep that in mind. However, if you're playing the role of controlling the space station, you will have 2 abilities for yourself. The first ability is called Space Force, which is going to increase the rate of fire for your primary weapon, but it's also going to refresh all abilities of all space cadets on board. The second ability that you're going to have is called Crater Maker, where you're going to fly up into the sky and destroy enemies below you with a massive laser. Keep in mind that once you do use the Crater Maker ability, because you've flown up into the sky, certain objects may block you from being able to move, such as going inside of a building. Moving over to some fan favorite zombie classes, we have the Foot Soldier, which has 125 health and has the special ability to allow him to shoot his ZPG while using rocket jump. His first ability is called Super Stink Cloud, that throws a gas bomb on the ground to block the enemy's vision, but not your team's vision. His second ability is called Rocket Jump, which allows him to leap into the air, and it's great for getting on roofs and getting over obstacles and things like that. And his third ability is called the ZPG, which launches a highly explosive rocket. That's very powerful at taking out Peashooters in the P-Gatlins and Sunflowers in the Sunbeams. And finally, we have the Scientist, which has 100 health, and his special ability allows him to revive teammates quickly. His first ability is called Sticky Healy Thingy, that heals teammates in an area near your Sticky Healy Thingy, so it's great to throw it on a teammate and move with them. His second ability is the Warp, which allows you to teleport a short distance in the direction you're moving, and his third ability is the Healing Hose, which sprays teammates to heal them to full health and even extend the max health. So those are all the character classes I'm going to be taking a look at in today's video. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please feel free to subscribe down below. I will be covering every single character class in a dedicated video, so make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss them. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Zero, and I will catch you all in another video.